Hey, what's going on guys, I'm back for your daily Fortnite video. In today's video I'm going to be ranking the best control players in Fortnite. I'm going to be doing this specifically based off of game style and game performance. Basically the players that I'm familiar with and that I know very well in terms of how they play. I'm not actually going to be targeting competitive Fortnite alone, as I feel like that's an entirely different world of Fortnite, and a lot of you guys are more familiar with public players and creators. So this video is definitely going to be opinionated. However, there's going to be evidence and reasoning behind each player that I pick and the placement that I put them at. Now comment down below your own personal list on who you would consider to be the best controller Fortnite players in the world, and we can find the differences and similarities between everyone's lists. Without further ado, let's hop right into this. Going from least best to best, we're starting at number 5 with razorx. razorx gained his notoriety from basically being a pioneer for the smooth building form of Fortnite. When you think of building, you typically will think of speed and efficiency. However, there's a form of building that is commonly overlooked, and this is smooth building. The reason it's commonly overlooked is because not a lot of players engage in this form of building due to how complex it is. It takes hours of practice and near perfection to actually become a smooth builder in Fortnite. razorx essentially was an overnight success due to the fact that his videos are so satisfying to watch. When you watch them, you get such a satisfying appeal, and it's nothing like you've ever seen in terms of building. And this is why I placed razorx at number 5. He's certainly a great player in game, but I think his building is realistically what sets him apart. He's definitely above average in essentially every aspect, from IQ to building to overall aim and accuracy, but his building is definitely what his reputation revolves around. The reason I'm placing him at number 5 and on this list at all is because I feel like he's in his own separate lane, and what he does is so difficult. It definitely looks easy when watching his gameplay, but I definitely challenge you guys to go in a public match or even a creative match and see if you can build as smoothly and efficiently as him. He essentially makes little to no errors, and when he does, he knows how to pivot and adapt out of them and basically turn them into advantages. He definitely deserves respect in the Fortnite community, and that's why I decided he was worthy of being on the list at number 5. This leads us to number 4, and in number 4 we have the player known as ghostx. ghostx was the founder and leader of the very popular Chronic clan in Fortnite. This was the biggest and most popular clan at the time, and was an all-controller clan. It sparked a lot of players' careers, and one of which being faze and also ghostx. ghostx ended up leaving Chronic altogether and joining the Ghost organization, and this certainly isn't for no reason. He's definitely one of my favorite content creators to watch on YouTube. His building and overall skill is unbelievable, and the reason I'm placing him above razorx is because his talent does not stop or halt at building alone. His game sense is incredible, as well as his IQ. His solo squad's gameplays that he used to post were unbelievable. He was dropping consistent 20 and 30 bomb games, so not only is he able to outsmart people in a 1v1, but he was constantly beating people out on 1v3 scenarios or 1v4 scenarios even in squads games. Being a great player in Fortnite isn't necessarily difficult, however consistency is something that's realistically unheard of, and ghostx basically has consistency down pat. He can basically go back to back to back with winning games and dropping high eliminations, and also basically winning every build battle that he gets himself into. I personally was matched up against him in a public match, and I can guarantee you guys it's literally like playing a ninja. I literally had no idea where he was coming from, and he was constantly landing shots on me and having every angle he needed on me. It was practically unbelievable. He has since kind of veered away from solo squads or general public matches into now becoming a creative warrior and making this his new title. He's definitely worth checking out, and by all means deserving to be on this list. Now leading us into the number 3 spot, and this goes to Ghost Aydan. Now I'm sure a lot of you guys were expecting this player to actually be on this list, and again I mentioned this video is not going to be targeted towards competitive Fortnite. However, he's kind of the face of competitive Fortnite, especially on controller, and he is certainly a fan favorite to say the least. He gained his fame immediately by playing in the summer skirmish, where he was constantly eliminating nickmercs, who was actually his duo teammate around the same time. He was also basically W-keying every single player that he saw, and this is definitely what rose him to fame. It was almost like he could not be stopped. We've all been in that zone in Fortnite where we're just going and pushing every single player and it seems like we're unstoppable. Well, Ghost Aydan basically had this happen in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And this is how he actually developed his reputation and gained respect in the Fortnite community. Now the craziest part is that he's not actually the best at any aspect in Fortnite. I certainly wouldn't label him as the best controller builder, editor, mechanical player, or having the highest IQ. He basically is just an all-around kind of player. He has enough of every aspect in Fortnite that makes him and sets him apart from every other player, not only in general public Fortnite, but even in the competitive scene. This now leads us into the number 2 slot, and this goes to Faze Sway. You guys were probably expecting him to be in the number 1 spot, but honestly, I would think there's a player that's slightly more deserving of him, and obviously we'll get into that in a few minutes. Now, Faze Sway is regarded as one of the greatest Fortnite controller players in the world, and he's definitely deserving of that title. The reason Faze Sway has become such a household name is because of his fast building. When watching his videos, you literally have a feeling of complete and utter disbelief. It literally seems like he speeds up his gameplay entirely, but this is not the case. It's almost unbelievable how he's able to build the way he does and so fast and efficiently, literally on a controller. Even if he was on a keyboard or mouse, it would still be unbelievable. His high ground retakes, his 90s, his edits, literally every part of building and editing he has perfected. I certainly would label him as the best controller builder without a doubt. And it goes without saying that building in Fortnite is one of the most important aspects that makes a player great. He's beaten some of the best PC builders in the entire world, and to do this on controller is beyond respectable. Now, the reason I have him listed at number 2 and not number 1 is because I don't necessarily think he's a well-rounded player in terms of every aspect. He certainly has building and editing down pat. However, I think there's inarguable room for improvement in other aspects like IQ and general mechanics. Just because he's a great player and builder in Fortnite doesn't necessarily mean he's the most consistent, and this is why I have him labeled at number 2. Now at number 1 we have Ghost Innocence. Innocence is basically what I consider to be the perfect controller player. Unbelievable building, unbelievable editing, insane IQ and mechanics in Fortnite, basically everything you would realistically need to become, well, the number 1 greatest controller Fortnite player in the entire world. Now, I don't necessarily pay attention to the competitive scene in Fortnite all that much. However, I do know that Ghost Innocence is very prominent in that scene and is consistently ranking extremely high in the duos and squads FCS weeks that Fortnite is holding. Now, I already mentioned that this video isn't going to be targeted towards competitive, so I'm not necessarily going to hop into the statistics and start explaining that to you guys, but that is definitely something that is worth mentioning. You guys can see from the gameplay alone, he basically has everything you would realistically need to become one of the best Fortnite players in the entire world. His awareness is on another level, and it seems like he basically knows where every player is at every single moment in the game. He can basically 1v4 any squad that he runs into without any problems or troubles, and some of his gameplay performances literally look flawless. From building to editing to game sense to IQ, he basically has it all. The gameplay of course speaks for itself, and I personally believe he is more than deserving to hold the number 1 spot as the best controller Fortnite player. So that's going to be it for my list, guys. Again, this is a completely opinionated video on who I'd consider to be the top 5 greatest Fortnite controller players in the world. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree with my list, maybe some things you would have changed or a player you would have added, like Wavy Jacob for instance. And also, if you guys basically have made it this far in the video, then chances are you're a pretty loyal or active viewer of mine, and I'd like to show my appreciation towards you guys. So if you made it this far in the video, comment down below saying best Fortnite controller player. That's all you have to do. That's your way of showing you made it this far in the video, and basically I will heart your comment, reply to it, and maybe even subscribe to some of you guys that leave that comment down below. And again, this is my way to show my appreciation to my loyal and active viewers that have made it this far in the video. And also for you guys, I'm hosting a brand new giveaway where I'm giving away 5,000 V-Bucks, and all you have to do to enter is simply leave a like and then comment down below stating what like you were. So for instance, if you left a like and your like number was 180, you would leave a comment saying my like number was 180, and you're already entered in the giveaway. And I'll be announcing the giveaway winners in future videos, so definitely stay tuned for that. And as I mentioned in the middle of the video, basically I'll have a link to everyone's channel that was mentioned in today's video in the description below. And of course, majority of the gameplay that was shown in today's video were from these content creators. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed today's video, a like would be beyond appreciated. And of course, on the contrary, if you genuinely dislike today's video, then by all means feel free to leave a dislike as well. And if you'd like to see more daily Fortnite content like this in the future, then feel free to subscribe as well as turning on those post notifications. Nonetheless, my name is aydan. Thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Adios.